Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. Listener, as I promised you before, we have such special interview with Syafiq Syaikul Akbar as member of Overseas Indonesian Students Association or PPI World Listeners regarding with our program Ramadan Talk, and hopefully you still with us, and we have been connected with Syafiq Syaikul. Assalamualaikum, Mas Syafiq Syaikul Akbar.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear your voice so clearly. So how are you today, Syafiq?
Cool. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm Faisal at studio, Syafiq.
Oh yeah, nice to meet you. It's an honor for me to be here.
Okay, well, before we talk more about this program, actually, could you please introduce yourself so that our listeners know about you, Syafiq?
Sure. Hello, listeners of Voice of Indonesia. My name is Syafiq, and currently I'm studying in Osaka University. Specifically, I'm studying international public policy. But to tell you the truth, I'm actually not in Osaka right now. I'm in Tokyo, just for today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, nice to meet you, everyone, and it's an honor to be on the air with Voice of Indonesia.
Okay, Syafiq. Actually, what time is it now in Tokyo?
It's currently 5:37, so it's 2 hours ahead of Indonesian Western time.
So at least how many hours should you do fasting?
Well, for now,
Before.
because Japan is in spring season, so basically the fasting time is pretty much similar to Indonesia. So we start our fast at 4, and then the Maghrib comes at around 6 to 6:30. So pretty much like 14.5 hours. Again, similar like Indonesia.
So almost 14 hours, yeah. After you eat such sahur, for also like breaking fasting, like buka puasa.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Syafiq. So how do you feel during this Ramadan? Still enthusiastic, right?
Well, actually, this is my second time going through Ramadan in Japan. And for this time anyway, this is spring, so the temperature is pretty cool, like 14 to 20, which is very comfortable. And with the amount of time that we spend to fast here is similar to Indonesia, making it very easy for me anyway to just do everything as I have done previously in Indonesia as well. So even I feel better doing fast here because the temperature is not as high as in Indonesia. So it's just we don't need to rehydrate that quickly, and we don't feel that thirsty compared to when I was back in Jakarta and other cities in Indonesia.
Okay. Well, when you said before about you have been there for second times. How long have you been in Japan?
I've been here for about one and a half years. I came here in November 2020, so during before Delta, during COVID-19 also. Yeah. So yeah, it's basically my second time going through Ramadan here in Japan.
Well, during Ramadan, is there such special activities for, I can say, PPID? For member of Overseas Indonesian Students in Japan?
Right. So for Overseas Student Association of Indonesia, like globally, it's kind of difficult to gather because everybody's living on different time zones.
Okay.
But usually, what we have is that because we also have our own association in our own cities. For example, in my place in Osaka, we also have our own association. So usually we gather like once or twice during Ramadan to do what we call buka bersama, and also of course during Eid we do prayer. We do the Eid prayer together, and then after that we have lunch with typical Indonesian food that we have during Eid, like opor and ketupat and stuff like that also.
Well, I can say the situation in Indonesia and Japan, I can say is also different, right? So how do you prepare for sahur and so for breaking fasting? Especially for getting food and also beverage, Syafiq.
Yeah. So basically, because me and my wife are both Indonesian, so what we prepare is usually Indonesian food as well. And thankfully, around our area, around our campus, there's a halal mart that we can go to and get the halal meat and chicken and stuff like that, and even Indonesian spices also. So what happens is that usually before iftar, before Maghrib, we make all the food together and prepare it also for the morning after. So so that we don't have to make much food again in the morning because
Uh-huh.
it's kind of early. So we kind of make food a lot before Maghrib and then just eat half of it during after iftar, and then we go to bed and do something else, and then in the morning before sahur we ate, or we also ate before. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to get, I can say, to get this, like, I can say, like, you also, I mean, like, buy raw materials such vegetable with your wife, and also you cook
Right.
by yourself, or what? Only buy?
Yeah, well, most of the time we do.
Uh-huh.
Most of the times we do make our own food
Okay,
because
okay.
a lot of restaurants here uses non-halal ingredients like chicken and beef that are not halal, or even like soyu and mirin, which contains alcohol. So to lessen or to avoid consuming those kind of food, we try to make our own food as much as possible. But it's a different scenario if some of our friends, for example, suddenly give us food and send us, some beverages or some snacks, which is nice. In that case, we don't have to make that much food either for iftar or for sahur.
I see, I see, I see. So at least you also, with your friends, such having, I can say, maybe permanent or temporary activities with PPI did there, then you gather in one place,
Yes,
and also for, I can say, breaking fasting together.
yes, exactly. Yes, that's true.
So actually, what is the name of the place, Shafiq? I guess for favorite place, yeah,
The
for
pla-
you. Is there?
the place. Well, we don't have that much place to go to
Oh,
because
okay.
we're busy as students. We're busy doing research and stuff like that. So usually, what happens is that we meet at one of our friends' apartment that happened to be quite large, so that it can fit like 20 people or more or less. So that's where we usually do breakfast together, or even during Eid prayer also we sometimes do it. Like last year we also did it there. So probably that's also what's going to happen this year later when Ramadan comes to the end. Yeah.
Okay, at least there is. I mean, sorry. What about the number of Indonesian university students in Japan, or
Right.
especially in Osaka, that approximately Shafiq?
Right. So if we count all the Indonesian citizens or Indonesians living in Osaka, there are about 4,000 people. But everybody's spread across the area because Osaka and Kansai is quite large, and a lot of people are working as well. But specifically for students, I think there are about 200-ish students with different backgrounds and different universities. And it's not easy to actually meet all of them. So that's why I mentioned to you. So we sometimes meet in one of our friends' apartment, which can contain only about 2 to 30, because those are the ones that we are close with typically, and those that we are gathering the most with.
Okay. Well, until now, there is also still, like, I can say, like, pandemic situation in Japan, especially around the city that you stay there. I mean, there is also
I
like.
guess right,
Okay, go on, go ahead.
right. I guess the number of COVID-19 cases are still quite high at the moment because the emergency state is still ongoing too at the moment. So restaurants are still closing at around 8 or 9, and not many people are traveling. But in terms of how we do our daily life, actually everything, well, most of the things have gone back into normal. Like a lot of classes have gone back to an in-person class, and research has been going on physically as well. And offices have run 100% work from office as well. So basically, a lot of activities are still have gone back to what it used to be before COVID-19. It's just that the status is still emergency. However, regarding the wear masks, well, I I was actually surprised that a lot of people are still wearing masks at the moment, despite many people in other parts of the world are abandoning masks. And apparently, it's because the Japanese, even before COVID, they've got used to wearing masks to avoid getting fever or influenza coming in. And it's also about their privacy. So even when the COVID-19 is not really like something that people are worried about, everybody's still wearing masks, like everywhere. Quite literally, they're wearing masks. So us too, foreigners, we tend to be forced to do that. Aside from the health perspective of it.
So I mean, at least you have got vaccine, yeah, for COVID-19.
Yeah, we have already, thankfully, yeah.
So Syafiq, I can say that.
Yes.
Yeah, Ramadan is carried. I mean, the activities of Ramadan is carried out every year, once in a year, especially. So I believe that if we talking about management, about your time, you study and you do worship, and this is also special about holy months of Ramadan. How can you manage your time and you prioritize your time, to study and also to worship in Ramadan, Syafiq?
Right. So at the moment, it's actually still on spring break because in Japan and I guess in a lot of European countries, the academic year starts in April and ends in February. So at the moment, actually, I'm still in my spring break and I don't have classes nor any other academic activities, which makes it easier for me to kick off Ramadan and just do a lot of worship activities and stuff like that. But I guess when classes have started again, like probably next week, and research is starting again, what we will try to do is to just squeeze everything around the prayer time. Like, for example, when like during Zuhur, for example, Zuhur is at around 12, just like in Indonesia actually, and we usually have a break until 1:30. And so I guess around that time, we'll try to maximize our time to recite the Quran and do the sunnah prayer and other worship that we might be able to do during that time. And when it comes to classes, then we do our best in doing that too, because then again, I think Ramadan is not something to be used as an excuse to do anything else less. We should try to do everything as normal as it was, but then we also try to keep up the spirit of Ramadan by doing a lot of worship with the time that we have.
Well, Syafiq, so far as I know, Osaka is the third big city after Tokyo and Yokohama, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
Actually,
that's true.
yeah.
Yes.
If Indonesia, I can say like people would like to get up or wake up from sahur. There is, I believe that you also know about like drumming, hitting like drum or something like the sound of Baduk. Is there also such unique things in Osaka, Syafiq, that maybe you can also share to our listeners?
Oh, well, sadly, I don't think there's such thing at the moment because a lot of people, or most of the people here are not Muslim, and Japanese are very sensitive to noises. Like even during daytime in a neighborhood, if there's a crowd, for example, or somebody making noises, they can call the police and report what is happening, and the police will come, giving saying don't do this anymore because you're disturbing other people. So we're trying our best not to make noises, trying our best to keep the neighbors happy as well. But recently there have been a lot of mosques being built in Osaka. We have one close to our university, and we have another one recently just officially launched in the middle of the city. And interestingly, it's owned by or run by an Indonesian organization or community as well. And at the moment, a lot of activities are going on there. So we have 5 times prayer regularly over there, and also we have regular iftar also, and regular sahur, if I'm not mistaken. So I think a lot of the activities are centered towards the mosque and the in the cultural or Islamic centers. While for other people like us, we try our best to just keep it to ourselves at the moment.
Well, Syafiq, you said that you have been at least in Japan more than 1 year.
Right.
Okay, I want to know until now what is I can say the Japanese traditional food that you really like until now. Is there?
Oh well. Um, well, many things are very common.
Okay.
Like we can also have it in Indonesia, like takoyaki and okonomiyaki, because well, specifically takoyaki and okonomiyaki is Osaka specialty.
Mhm.
But for me personally, I actually really like dango, like in Indonesia,
Sorry,
like it's like
danko.
satay.
Okay.
Yeah, satay, but like in with rice cake. So in Indonesia, we have satay with chicken and beef or goat,
Mhm.
goat meat and stuff like that. But here in Japan, the dango is actually from rice cake, which is really nice and really sweet,
Okay.
which I like. It's like mochi but with satay stick. Another one would be what we call taiyaki. So taiyaki is like a cake, but in
Mhm.
the shape of fish. I don't know what's the meaning behind that at the moment, anyway. But it has like custard or red bean inside, with along with the cake. So it's really nice, and I already have it like quite a lot
Okay.
before Ramadan. I'm hoping I can get some for iftar as well.
Okay. Shafiq, we have last question, Shafiq. Actually, the first
Sure.
is, do you have any suggestion for all Muslims in the world during Ramadan?
Sorry.
Do you have such any suggestion for all Muslims around the world during Ramadan?
So well, there's not much actually. It's just that I hope everybody can do
Uh-huh.
their worship and prayers as much as they could, even if the situation might limit us. Because
Uh-huh.
I know that in a lot of part of the world, COVID is still a big thing, and people are restricted to go here and there, or are even restricted to be in a crowd or something like that, or even people are still scared to go out. So even with all the limitations that's still going on, I hope everybody can have a wonderful Ramadan, and just maximize all the time that we have to do the most worship that we can, and train ourselves for the times after Ramadan as well, so that we can maintain what we have this time, along with also doing our own responsibilities from
Mhm.
for us being students means that we need to study, like just like how we do before Ramadan or after Ramadan, and of course if we're working, then we do the work as well as possible, just like other times other than Ramadan.
Okay, the last, Shafiq. So, what is your expectation during Ramadan, especially for yourself and also for maybe your wife and for your family, Shafiq, during Ramadan?
Well, right. So during Ramadan, hopefully,
Uh,
we can spend more time doing the worship. Like, of course, again, as I've mentioned before, everything other than the Ramadan is still going on very normal here. Nobody really knows that it's Ramadan now, so like we just have it for ourselves. So, with that being said, we hope that we can just maximize all the time that we have and improve from our previous Ramadan, especially with now that COVID is getting less and less worrying. So hopefully we can go to mosque and do like stay over in mosque, like doing itikaf, for example, and hopefully we can reach for Laylatul Qadr in the last 10 days of this year's Ramadan.
okay, all right. Thank you very much, Shafiq, for your time. I hope.
Thank you for having me. It's been an honor.
So have a nice day, Shafiq. I hope that you can also do the holy months of Ramadan very well.
You too, you too.
Okay, have
Have
a
a
nice day.
wonderful Ramadan,
Okay,
listeners, and Faisal.
thank you, Shafiq. Have a nice day. Bye bye.